On Friday night, I went to see one of my favourite singer-songwriters, a lady called Ingrid, but didn't stay for all of her set because it was the weekend and I had to get home using the British motorway network. And if you drive in the UK, you'll know that on a good day, our motorways are shit. And that's on a weekday. Evenings and weekends, you've got no fucking chance. If you're lucky, it's just lane closures. If you're unlucky, they close the entire motorway, and then all the traffic from a road like the M6 ends up going through some little village with a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. And I don't know when it happened, but I believe a law's been passed, meaning that at any one time, 80% of Britain's motorways have to be dug up simultaneously. So, on my way home on Friday, as I was sat in traffic, and here's a weird thing, if you're from outside the UK, the speed limit on a motorway is 70 miles an hour, but more often than not, you're in a 50 mile an hour average speed check area, whilst they carry out road works. They'll always say urgent repairs required, but there's never any sense of urgency about doing them. Also, the way they monitor average speed is that every mile or so there's a set of cameras watching the motorway as we drift into an Orwellian nightmare. But it struck me, as I was sat stationary, if it's 50 mile an hour average speed, then surely there's some give and take, because if you are sat in an average speed area, say 50 miles an hour, for 2 hours without moving, and that's not uncommon, then surely, when it gets going, you should be permitted to drive for 1 hour at 150 miles an hour, because it's then still the same average speed. And if that were the case, I wouldn't mind sitting in roadworks. I'd turn up, put my hazards on and read a book, happy that I know in 2 hours I can drive like an utter cunt. But something else that struck me is that all of us who drive and experience the misery of the transport system, we're missing out on a trick here we could be getting in on tourism. Because every year, hundreds of thousands of people come to the UK wanting to experience a bit of what they perceive to be British life. London's packed out with tourists. In fact, it's hard to find a British person there sometimes. And places like Salisbury, they're extremely popular at the moment with Russian murderers. So what the rest of us take for granted driving, think of how much of a thrill that could be for some foreign tourists. Come and experience a British traffic jam. Now, it wouldn't need much organising, because all we've got to do is pick up anyone from near any motorway anywhere, because they're all shit. And they could have the day of their life. Now, my car, I could pick up a family of 4, I'd be driving. Imagine their thrill as I go, look, we're heading up towards the motorway, we're about to do 70, but as I indicate to go on the slip road, look, it's a 50 mile an hour average speed area. And all the things that we don't pay any attention to, such as, look, we're driving along and the traffic's just stopped. And we're going to sit here for about an hour and you think that there's a massive accident up there. But soon we'll find, when we get moving, there's nothing there. It's just a mystery. Actually, it's some tit tapped his brakes an hour and a half ago. And what else do we take for granted? No, it's gone. How about this? For the ultimate thrill, a nighttime tour. Pick up a family at night and we'll hunt one of the most elusive creatures known to, or meant to be known to man. Because there are people who hunt Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. We could take them out to try and find the fabled British road worker. Drive along at night, there's cones and flashing lights everywhere. There's a load of heavy earth moving equipment that would suspect there'd be lots of work going on, but all you'll see is a load of blokes in high-vis jackets doing fuck all next to JCBs. No one's ever seen an actual road worker. Now, also, because we're British and we're trying to cater for the foreigners, we could play to a few stereotypes to make us seem more British, depending on the car you drive. Now, I drive a Jaguar, so I could wear a tweed jacket with leather elbow pads and just be casually racist. I could pick up a family from, say, Nigeria and go, oh, hello, where are you from? I bet you've never seen a car before, have you? Come and get it. That's how the door works, yes. My great-grandfather probably shot a lot of your family. And if you drive a Transit, you just need to play that vibe up a bit, and you get love on there, way! If you've got a people carrier, you're excluded, because you fuckers can't drive anyway. But if we're to do the British traffic jam tourism, there's a few things we need to point out for foreigners so they don't freak out. Now, first of all, if you're American, once you've got the hang of getting in the other side of the car, don't freak out if you see the car's got a gear stick. I know you probably think that we're all street racers and shit that do that. That's quite normal over here. You don't have to photograph us pressing the clutch like they do in Fast and Furious films. And if you're a younger person, none of this will have made any sense. Driving, you know, if you order an Uber, it's like you do that, but you have to make the car move yourself.